Amazon, I'm Jasmine Moyer, and welcome to Sway TV.
I'm so excited to get started today.
We're gonna have some fun on the street.
And we're doing Workout Wednesdays here on Amazon Live.
And she is fresh off the set of Shark Tank.
It's such an honor to be here today, so thank you.
We are going to be talking all about parenting.
This is our tribe of women. What is the key to a successful business?
And it's Brad Grunberg. Hi, Brad.
This is a game changer. There's a Tesla. You can actually buy a car on Amazon.
That is so crazy.
The perfect gift. Yes, we got our Drake's Cake break. So awesome.
Shake, shake, shake. Shake your Zulai. This is fun.
Here we go. I'm so excited. I can't even stand it. That was very dramatic.
Oh, Naveen says this is better than Netflix. So happy New Year 2021. Let's bring it in with a bang.
2, 1.
So grateful for you guys and for Sway TV.
I've had such a great time with all of you.
We'll see you soon. Until then, let's sway.
Let's sway.
Let's sway. Let's sway. Let's sway.
Let's sway.
Let's sway.
Let's sway.
Let's sway.
Let's sway.
Let's sway.
Let's sway.
Hi, welcome, good morning. Thank you so much for joining me this morning. This is the Art of Parenting on Sway TV Live on Amazon Live. I'm Marissa Gold. I am joined this morning by Jed Gold. Jed is, here's a funny story. We're just gonna
put it right out there.
Put it right out there.
Nice.
Yeah, we're just gonna put it right out there. So Jed and I were married for about 17 years. And we are now in the process, we're separated and in the process of getting a divorce and moving forward with that. But we get along really well. And we have 2 kids, as I've talked about. And so Jed is co-hosting with me this morning because today's show is all about dads. And Jed has been a really active father since day one, really active dad. One of the things that I said to him at the tail end of our marriage was, if he had been as good a husband as he was a father, we never would have gone in the direction of separation and divorce. But that's where we're at. But we still get along. And at the beginning of this pandemic, we had actually just separated a couple months before it had happened. It had been about 4 or 5 months at that point. And our girls came to us and they said, we really want to be able to quarantine all of us together. We want to feel safe. We want, we don't want to be going back and forth. And so we made the decision to basically just be more of a nuclear family again and to make it work for the girls. And it has actually been really great.
Yeah, we bounce back and forth between our 2 places and very friendly.
Yeah, and what have we said has been the key to success?
That I'm so patient?
Well, I was gonna say that he has an apartment. He has his.
Oh my gosh.
So actually, and we were like, the key to probably a happy marriage is that you have a place that you can go to and to get away from the kids, because sometimes you need a break, right?
We definitely get along better now than we did for like the last 10 years.
Yeah. So. And I think people actually see that about us and wonder why we are getting a divorce.
Space helps.
Space helps, yeah. Space helps, and having a place to go and having time out from each other and from the kids, it definitely has been a game changer. We could probably do a whole show on that. We could probably do a whole show on that. But
this is Amazon Live.
But this is, yeah, and so no. So
probably not.
No, okay.
Probably not.
Okay, so
I think they have enough of a background. I think this is
okay. So
context.
Okay. So now that you have the context for Jed being here, I want to tell you a little bit about what we're going to be doing today. So today we are talking all about the dad's role in parenting. As you know, when you join me on this show on Sway TV on Amazon Live, we talk about parenting. Every time we get together, we have a new topic, and we bring in products that I really love and stand by and tell you about and share with you so that you can bring those things into your home. But it's not just about the product, it's also about the content and what you can take away from the show. It's really important to me that I'm able to give you some tips and tricks and things that you can do in your parenting.
And marriage advice.
Yeah, marriage advice. It'll come up today, I'm sure. And then when you leave the show and we're not together, you can make educated decisions for how you want to be the best parent possible. So one of the things, I've been doing this now, I think today is like the 7th or 8th show, and we haven't talked too much about the dad's role in parenting, and I really wanted to do that because I think it is such an integral part of parenting, especially today. In today's culture, in today's society, it's really hard to raise kids, harder than it ever has been. And I think if you're fortunate enough to have a 2-parent household where both parents are able to be involved, then the kids have an even happier, better chance at being productive, happy, successful adults. And if not, that's okay. But I just wanted to talk today about how the dad's role is different than the mom's role. And I also wanted to talk today about what it's like when you have a dad who is starting a business and doing that at the same time, raising a business and raising kids. And Jed is a serial entrepreneur. Which
I feel like you did not love for a really long time.
I think I did not love it, but I also did not get it. I was brought up in a home with 2 doctors, and it's a very different style of upbringing when you have parents who have a,
more typical 9-to-5 job.
Yeah, and a little bit more financial stability than...
Financial stability?
Well...
Who needs financial stability?
So...
We need excitement.
Excitement. We definitely had excitement.
Startups are exciting.
Startups are exciting, but they're also really scary when you have a newborn. And when our first was born, 2 weeks after... No, that's not true. A month after she was born, you left to go to Sundance. Was it Sundance? Cannes. Yeah, you left to go to Cannes. I was a new mom. I had a 4-week-old, and Jed was like, "See ya, I'm gonna go party in Cannes," and work.
I had a good corporate job. I was never around. I was working like crazy. And so rather than continue down that path where I felt like I was gonna be out 6-7 nights a week, I pivoted into something more entrepreneurial so that I could control my schedule, which has allowed me to lean in as a dad, be there, be active, participate, etc. So yes,
that is the
with
pro
the cost of maybe some instability and some unknowns comes
the ability to be flexible and be a more involved dad.
Correct.
Absolutely. And I think now looking back on it, I really see that was the positive of you being an entrepreneur. But when we were in it, I think because when you're an entrepreneur, you were raising basically like another child at the same time that we had a new baby. So we're gonna talk all about that, and I'm super excited that you're here. Thank you so much for joining me.
Always
I really appreciate it. I said to Jed before we started, I said, "So what's your intention for doing this show? What's your intention, Jed?"
I think I said supporting you. I am taking time out of my busy entrepreneurial startup life,
which we're going to talk all about. So you're going to get to plug it.
Yes.
I mean, you do get some value out of this, other than just supporting me, your ex-wife.
Fair point.
Okay. So before we get going, I want to just share, Jed knows how I like to have my latte every day, and if I don't have it, I'm not as nice. Sometimes.
That's true.
Yeah. And Jed has actually, this never happened when we were married, but now sometimes when he's around, because of the pandemic, we've been around each other a lot on the weekends with the kids together, the 4 of us. And Jed sometimes even brings me a latte in bed. I mean, had you done that when we were married, we might still be married.
I mean, that's a little overstating, but I'm gonna let it go. But yes, we did end up investing in a good coffee machine and frother for you, and cup and things that you like, so that you didn't feel like you needed to continue with the
$8
Starbucks
a day.
habit.
Oh, don't put
So,
down Starbucks. We like Starbucks.
We do like Starbucks,
But-
but I'm also a pretty good barista.
Yeah, and now that we can do it in our home, I'm actually much happier. So this is what we brought into the house. I've shared this before, but these are some of my favorite things. So this is the Nespresso Vertuo Plus Coffee Espresso Maker. I have this. It is so fun. It's really fun. Okay, I'm gonna cut it off because you get the idea, but I love that espresso maker, the Nespresso. It's, I think it's one of the best ones out there. I know everyone loves the Keurig. I really like the Keurig too, but this, there's something about it. I really like it. And I brew right into my favorite mug, whether I'm at home or on the go. This is the Keep Cup. And it's a 16-ounce reusable. I feel like you wanted to say something.
I was going to ask if this can go in the dishwasher.
Yes, I'm so glad you asked that, Jed.
That wasn't prompted.
It was
Wait, do you have to take off this little ring part?
No, no. Okay, so this is it's a cork ring. It is top rack dishwasher safe, and the glass and the cork can go in the microwave, not the lid. But I actually wash it by hand. It's so easy to wash. But it is top rack dishwasher safe, which does make me happy because I don't like things actually for the most part that you can't put in the dishwasher and that you can't wash in the laundry. It really is annoying. Like if I get a t-shirt or something that I have to like hand wash, I find that to be super annoying, and I actually don't even do it. I put it in one of those little like lingerie bags and throw it in, and yeah. And what?
I'm just looking at Caitlin's comments. I think she was asking me if I was hit with caring more about work than family.
Oh, that's such a good question. And Caitlin was here with me the other day, so glad you're back, Caitlin.
No. In fact, I think that it was when we had our first child that I realized because I was literally never around and working 100 hours a week and out every single night at events, and felt like I was going to miss the kids growing up if I continued on the path I was on, and so specifically chose the entrepreneurial path so that wouldn't be the case and that I could be around more.
But let's also be honest.
You would probably say.
Well, no, but you also grew up in a home. You know, so often we do what was modeled. You grew up in a home with a dad who was an entrepreneur, and I think I think that was always your end game. You always knew that you wanted to do that in some capacity, and all along you were kind of trying to figure out what it was going to be that you were going to focus on. There were other businesses along the way that were entrepreneurial, but it wasn't until this one, which we're going to get to. But there were, it's who you are in your core. It is who you are.
Absolutely.
And it definitely drives every decision. I learned this in therapy, in a lot of therapy. It drives every decision that you make, including how you wanted to be a dad.
Yes.
Not really a husband. But we're such good friends now, so it's all good.
I have nothing to say.
Yeah.
I'll just let it go. Keep going. Keep selling your coffee mug. No, really. Everybody wants to know about your dishwasher safe coffee mug.
You asked me about my dishwasher safe. You brought it up. Okay, it's so interesting to toggle back and forth between these like topics. Okay, anyways, so, Jed, why don't we, because I've now teased what you're doing now, why don't you give our viewers a little bit of background on, let's do your elevator pitch. I haven't heard it in a while. Jed does a
Well, I feel like
really
we-
good elevator pitch, but I think you need to tell your history a little bit first in order to
we'll
build.
come back to the history, but a little context to what I'm doing now. So I started a company
I could be Vanna White. Where's the other one?
that solves the problem for parents of what to do with all the artwork their kids create. So parents feel bad throwing away their
But
kids'
why?
art.
How did you come up with this?
Okay, so I came home one night 9 years ago, and
9?
9 years ago this month,
Oh, wow.
I came home
Really? Wow.
and
Oh, time flies when you're having fun.
Marissa was taking pictures of our kids' artwork with her camera. And I
Not
asked
even an
her-
iPhone. My point
like
and shoot
Like
camera.
a point
Yeah.
shoot, yeah. And I asked her what she was doing, and she told me that she was tired of all the clutter. We had young girls at the time, and there was art everywhere. And so she said she was going to make a book of all the kids' artwork. And so I was watching her do this very manual process of taking pictures with her camera and thinking to myself, the pictures need to get from your camera to a computer to a website. It's going to be out of order. You're
I was
going to
have to edit it. I was going to have to do all the editing.
You're a busy mom.
Yep.
And so, like, A+ on the concept and sort of like D- on the execution.
But I didn't have an option. And
Right. So it felt like that book was never going to get made. And so I said, I will go upstairs and I will find you a solution for this problem, because every parent can probably relate to this of what to do with all their kids' artwork.
Yes.
And so I couldn't find anything that night, and I woke up the next morning and I started wireframing what would become the first version of Archive. Which started off as an app where you could take pictures of your kids' artwork. We don't need to see the book; it's not important. We're not that part of the story yet. So, where were we? See, you threw me off because
Sorry,
you showed the book. Oh
I'm
yeah.
sorry.
So we create the app. We launch the app in the App Store 9 months later. And 5 days after we launched, we're on the Today Show, which was
Apple
amazing.
loved it.
Apple started featuring us, super exciting. And I'm going to skip over all the details of what it's like trying to run an app business.
No,
and how
I think
hard it
that
is.
at some point here, though,
We
you
can
need
get
to
into it
share.
later.
Because I think it's an important part of the story.
But it wasn't really until we launched, we sort of looked at our audience and we had so many people, like 100,000 parents who had signed up for the app service but weren't actually doing anything. And so we decided to solve the problem for those people. So we launched more of a concierge type service where we do all the work. So now we have the Archive box. We literally ship you a box. You fill it with your kids' artwork. You send it back to us, and then we professionally photograph all of the art, edit the images, and turn it into one of these beautiful books.
Now can I show the book?
Now you can Vanna White.
Now I can show the book. So it's a really awesome coffee table style book. It lays flat. The quality is excellent. They're thick pages, and you can see it's really adorable.
Yeah, it doesn't really lay flat, but it is a beautiful, high-quality book. It lays flat when you stretch it. So we're if you got kids' artwork, Archive. We'll get more into it later. And now back to your regular scheduled separated couple parenting show.
Okay. Okay. So what has been the most gratifying reason, or the most gratifying thing about being the involved parent that you are?
Well, I get to be.
And that's big picture.
Yeah.
I know we're gonna drill down into it, but I want big picture. What has if you had to look back? I mean, our kids are 15 and 12, so.
I think just being able to be present. I mean, the fact that I've been around as much as I have been, and that I get to help and participate and have a relationship with them that I feel like is very much an equal parenting. I don't feel like you're the primary caregiver and I'm sort of the guy who swoops in when I can. I feel like I've been able to do the baths when they were young and
you didn't bring the
I didn't bring what?
Oh no, you totally did.
I didn't bring the nail clipper.
Okay, I just want to say
To see if you knew what this was.
never have
This
I
is
ever.
not a thread cutter. This is actually used for cutting your kids' nails.
Yes, and never have I ever done it.
Literally.
From day one.
We have a 15-year-old, and she has never cut a nail. So...
Jed, there are certain roles that Jed took on early, and I let him continue. I decided to bless him with those bonding experiences. And I actually was going to ask later, but I will ask now because I feel that it's appropriate. Like, what are other areas? So we're joking about it, but Jed was very involved in bath time from like a very young age. We both did baths, but he would do them equally as much as I would. And it was always, bath time was always really fun in our house. We would sing, the kids would play. It was, Jed would tell stories. It was always fun. But when the kids got out of the bath, Jed was the one that did the nail clipping. But I was going to ask, what else? What are other areas that you think dads can really get involved and potentially even own? And I say own in a really positive way because it can be something that the dad does. And while it's something where the dad's bonding with child, it's also giving mom a break, which I think is really important. Because the one thing that I will say, and you said that you felt you had an equal play as a parent.
Do you disagree with that?
It's not that I disagree. However, time-wise, I was definitely with them a lot more. And so from an emotional exhaustion place, like when Jed would get home from whatever entrepreneurial activity of the day was, yes, he would dig in and he was present and he was there, and the kids, they have a great relationship to this day because of it. But I was the one, when they were little, I was the one that was with them all day long. And it is literally 24/7. And so I think one of the things that dads can do to really engage with their kids is they can actually find some things that they can own. And so it can be something that they do with their kids, and it can give mom a break at the same time. So we're joking about it, but when Jed would, cut the girls' nails and tell them a story and get them ready for bed, that gave me 15, 20 minutes to just chill out, feed the dogs, clean up, go lie on the bed, whatever it was, which, as a mom, you need that. You need to be able to just turn off sometimes, even if it's for 5 minutes. So what are some other areas that...
Dads need that too, though. It's not like I was off relaxing, doing nothing, lying in bed when I wasn't with you and the kids.
I get that, but it is different. It is a different type of mental play when you have kids that are placing demands on you than when you are at a job sitting at your desk and you can close the door. And you can take a mental breather, or even just being around adults. It is different than being around a 4-year-old and a 1-year-old 24/7.
Yes.
I'm sorry, where are the moms? The moms agree with me.
Building a company is super relaxing. It's almost like being at the spa.
I did not say.
There's no stress ever. It's like it rains money. It's like people just throw money at you all day long.
Oh, you know what? Honestly.
So I need to stick up for the difficulty of building a company here. It is literally not like I was just doing nothing.
I never said that you were doing nothing. What I said was, and let's be very clear, what I said was that when you are with your kids, whether it's the mom with the kids or the dad with the kids are 24/7, especially when they are that age. I mean, you remember what it was like when you would walk in the door and they would want your attention constantly. So yes, it wasn't like you could turn it off, right? Like with young kids.
I was always on.
Yeah. And so as a mom, I was on all day with them. I wasn't leaving the house to go anywhere. Right. And so because of that, when you get to walk out the door and leave your kids behind, you get to put on a different hat, and you get to put on the adult hat. And when you're wearing that adult hat and there are no kids around placing crazy demands on you 24/7, you are able to, you're just in a different mental space, and you are able to separate a little bit from the kids, which I never did. But you're not answering my question.
What was your question?
See?
No, I listened, really. I'm not thinking about work right now. Tell me what your question
my
is.
question was, what are areas that if a dad wants to be involved,
yes,
what are some areas that a dad can own and really like take over so that can be a time that becomes known as like that's bonding time with my child, and also mom
Caitlin,
gets.
I am thinking about my children. That is all I ever think about. Thank you. Yes. Because even when I'm at work or supporting Marissa, I am thinking about the children. Go ahead. Sorry. Ask your question. What are things that what? That a
Yeah,
dad
it
can
is.
do?
It is true. That it is very true what Caitlin is saying. That the man says, "Well, I have to bring in the money to support the family," and we did have that discussion many times.
Well, I mean,
Yes?
this is like I'm absolutely not going there. This is a no-win conversation.
For this
It
show.
took us like 10 years to figure out how to get along. I am like not rocking the boat now. Thanks, Caitlin.
Okay, answer my question. If I have to ask it a third time, then they're really going to know.
What are things that dad has to do, or
No,
that a dad can do?
Yeah, what are areas in raising your kids
Yes.
that a dad can take over and own?
Yeah.
And that can be like daddy-daughter or daddy-son bonding time, daddy-kid bonding
Yeah.
time. And at the same time, mom can get a little bit of a break and not feel guilty about it. And right? And we
Yeah.
will, by the way, we are going to discuss the importance of, like, if dad is going to be involved, there does need to be some time out when dad gets home from work, or some time where you have to find spaces for dad to decompress also, because it is impossible for dad to be working 100% and then come home and be on with the kids 100%.
That revelation took Marissa about 12 years to come to, so I totally appreciate that you are saying that.
Oh my God.
But that was not the case. I was literally burning it at every end.
Yes, but so
for
was I.
so long.
I also wasn't getting a break except for when you cut their nails.
Do we have any products to sell? This is Amazon. Why are we?
No, well, yes, I want you to actually.
See how I did that?
Yeah, I like how you did that, but I meant to bring the book and I didn't, but that's okay.
Yeah.
You still
want me?
cannot.
Okay, I'll answer your
Okay, answer
question.
my question,
So-
please. Yes.
So the answer to your question is of when.
Look at what Caitlin said. I love that comment. He trusted you to handle and mold the kids while he molded his business.
Oh,
That's so nice.
Yeah.
That's very nice, Caitlin.
So the answer to your question is that there are a ton of opportunities for dads to lean in and be involved, depending on their schedule and what the division of responsibilities is. But for us, I like to do. I would get up with them in the morning often.
Yes,
and do
because as we've
breakfast,
discussed,
so
I'm not a morning person at all. I don't like the mornings, and Jed was amazing. All throughout our marriage, did like mornings and therefore did breakfast.
Right.
Typically.
Right. Cooking in general. So let's just
but-
let's just widen the lens.
Okay, but you're gonna make it sound like I did nothing.
That is not true.
Okay.
But I did do some of the morning stuff.
Yes.
And I did do
Well,
the
but
cooking.
you like to cook.
And I did
I
do
do
bath
not-
time.
I'm
and
not
I
a
do
huge-
do
Yes.
bedtime. So just to be clear.
You did not.
Just to be clear.
So what did I
It is
do? In your
not
eyes,
like
what did I do?
was never around
No,
and
no,
not
no.
doing anything.
No. Have I
So,
said
no,
all
I just want everyone
to know
out there to understand that I took my job and startup very seriously, but I also took being a super involved parent very seriously.
You did. Parent.
I understand the distinction you're making between parent and husband. That did not go over my head.
Okay, so I like that you said that there are lots of areas that you can lean in.
Yeah.
But can you give us some specific areas that
Yeah.
you can talk
Yeah.
about maybe?
Okay.
Pick one or two.
All right, so let's talk about breakfast. So I love breakfast. I love cooking breakfast. My kids are.
It's their best meal of the day.
I think my kids our kids have
Thanks.
our kids have become very spoiled because I've always made a big deal about breakfast. So pancakes, French toast, hash browns,
Cheese blintzes. Smoothies,
and one of my favorite
acai bowls.
things. Wow, I feel such a natural right now. One of my favorite things to cook on is the griddle. So if you don't have a griddle, you should buy one. And Marissa's gonna show you right now what my favorite griddle is. If you have a gas top stove, you lay this across the 2 burners and it is fantastic. So I highly recommend, if you don't own this product and you don't have a natural built-in griddle.
Oh, who has a natural built-in griddle?
If you have like a nice new kitchen and a good
1%.
stove, whatever, you never know. This is a fantastic solution. I use it all the time. Marissa, you're not a huge fan. But honestly, like there are probably 2 or 3 like to me like non-negotiable kitchen items.
Yeah.
This is one of them.
Well, the reason why I'm not a fan is because I don't like cleaning it because it's very heavy and bulky. But it makes the best breakfast. I will totally back you up on that. And I will say that this leads into why it gets so messy and why it's hard to clean. But you can put everything on this. So you literally will make like eggs, hash browns, turkey brains, turkey bacon, and like even like little pancakes or like all like literally everything for one breakfast in this one pan, which is pretty awesome. It all gets done, and then oh, you know what? We should have included a cast iron skillet. Because you've been doing another show. Maybe we'll do a whole show. Maybe I'll get you back on here. We'll do a whole show dedicated on the cooking. Yeah.
No, I think we should do a whole show dedicated to how we parent and co-parent together.
Isn't that what today is?
Oh, right.
Sort of.
Yes.
Right. Okay. So the other thing that you really like, because you are so in charge of breakfast.
You're welcome for the griddle tip, by the way, if you don't have one.
Yeah. And this is the other thing that. Well, actually, I'm going to show 2 more things that you really like.
All right, so
let me just say really, I'm sorry to cut you off, but one of the things that Jed is famous for in our house is his banana bread. So Jed is actually gluten-free.
I'm gluten-free, and I do make a banana bread that wins all banana bread contests. Like it is the banana bread to end all banana bread.
We're serious about this. We're not just saying it. Like whenever he makes it, people are like, and the crazy thing is that it's gluten-free because we use the best gluten-free flour, which is Cup for Cup. We think it's really yummy. So this has been a recent discovery, I've noticed.
The mini loaf tin. Yeah, so I mean, we used to do muffins all the time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm a huge fan of this.
It's kind of all about your topping.
It is the streusel topping that does help.
But yeah.
Yeah, we actually over the holidays were with our family. With my sister and my brother-in-law and all the kids, and we decided to have a
banana bread bake-off.
A contest. Yes.
Oh, look, the Cup for Cup is in the comments.
Yeah. So yeah, it was determined that I had an unfair competitive advantage with my streusel topping. But these loaf tins, I think these are much cooler than having just standard like muffin tins. So
they're fun.
It is kind of fun. It's like a perfect size, and the kids love them. And there's something like very like bake shop novelty-ish about having these things like come out.
Ooh, will you make blueberry muffin blueberry banana blueberry like blueberry muffins, but in here? I think that'd be really good
for the kids when they're at my apartment. Sure, yeah, absolutely, I'd be happy to do that.
Let's be honest, you'll save one for me.
I will save one for you. Fine. Yes.
He jokes, but he's really good to me now.
Marissa's famous for her qualifiers. Everything is always like, Jed's really good to me right now. Yeah.
I'm only famous for my qualifiers with you. Okay. The other thing that the girls absolutely love, Jed makes, so just before I got my Nespresso machine and I was going to coffee shops to satisfy my latte habit, our girls are obsessed with acai bowls, and like obsessed. And we're fortunate we have like 2 or 3 places very close to the home, close to both of we live 5 minutes from each other, so close to where we live. But we decided that habit needed to change, especially in quarantine.
That's a very expensive. Acai bowls are for 3 people at a time is a very expensive habit, and so that ended up turning into the homemade acai bowls. So this Vitamix,
it's a little bit pricier,
it is expensive,
but worth it.
Yeah,
It's so worth it.
And Marissa will tell you, I am often looking for the best deal. And
I thought you were going to say something different.
Don't love spending money on a lot of things. So, and don't think a lot of things are necessarily worth spending money on.
That's what I. Yes.
So.
Whereas I feel that sometimes if you spend a little bit more at the outset, you get quality that lasts longer and a better product. So that's one of the areas where we really differ.
So, but I will say that this is one item that I would absolutely not skimp on. Like, all blenders are not created equal. Whereas some of the stuff that I've disagreed on, they are created equal. One just has a brand name on it, one doesn't.
I would like an example. I want you to give me an example.
Let's just stick with the Vitamix. So
I want an example.
Do you not? I will tell you, this is like one of the best things. This is like a must-have also. What's one of the best things in the kitchen? I would not go with another brand. This thing literally can
do everything.
The
crazy thing is we really only use it for smoothies and acai bowls.
Yeah, but it can do a lot more.
But we have friends that make soups, that make sauces, that you can literally do so much in the Vitamix. We've barely tapped the potential of it, but it is absolutely one of my favorite kitchen items. It's really one of the only kitchen items that I use with any frequency because the girls want smoothies every day. So either I make it in the Vitamix or I make it in the Zulai smoothie maker. It really just depends what kind of mood I'm in.
But that's a good example. Like, does that thing, you think you could put like a ton of like frozen fruit in that?
No. So first of all, the Zulai smoothie maker, which I'm going to just find it so people can see what we're talking about really quickly. This you actually cannot put frozen fruit into, and you also obviously cannot get the quantity. Where is it? Why can't I find it?
You could put like,
here, you hold this while I'm
a strawberry, a peach, a pineapple. This would be good for like if you're in like a little snack. The Vitamix makes like for 3 people at a time though.
Yeah,
or
that's
4 people at a time.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. I mean, the thing about this is, but here's what I love about this one, and I don't know, where is it? It's not coming up in my list here. Oh, here we go. Okay, so here's the thing about this one.
What are the holes at the top for?
Huh? To pour. You can pour if you want. You can drink. Okay, so here's the thing. Okay, here's the thing about this. I'm going to show the video really quickly, and then I will explain why I like this.
The Zulai Kitchen Personal Blender. Fully portable when on the go. Blends up to 25 shakes or smoothies when fully charged. Includes 6 stainless steel blades. Simply add your favorite ingredients and turn it on. Keep in mind not to include frozen fruits or ice cubes so the blades don't catch, and to keep your blender lasting longer. When done, simply add half a cup of water and turn it on to rinse and clean. If your battery is running low, just plug it in anywhere. Comes in 6 beautiful, vibrant colors. Get your Zulai Kitchen Personal Blender today.
Okay, so first of all, Carla said we love our Vitamix. Yes, totally agree with you, Carla. So glad that you have one, that you love it. And Caitlin is saying that this is not super powerful. So here's what I want to say about this. It is totally different than the Vitamix. I actually think of them as very different uses. The Vitamix I put frozen fruit into, I put ice cubes into. It literally crushes everything, and the quantity, you can make a smoothie for 3 or 4 people at one time, which we do.
Yeah.
The difference with this is no ice, no frozen fruit. It has to be fresh. But here's what I really like about this is that it's portable and on the go. So right now our kids are not in school, but if they were in school, they would also be on the tennis team. And one of the things that I really like is I can bring this to a tennis match with the fresh fruit in it, and when the match is done, I can turn it on and voila, fresh smoothie on the spot. So it's not like you're laughing.
I mean, if you're debating between this and the Vitamix, though,
Yes, but
which
you
would
could. Yes, if I'm home, but I can't take the Vitamix. It's huge and heavy. I
Yes,
can't take the
that is
Vitamix
true.
with me.
That is
So
true.
there are different
Bree says
products.
the Vitamix blends very well.
Oh yes, it does. The Brie. Yes, that is true, Brie.
Good for gym powder drinks. That's a good use. That's a good use case.
That is a really good use of this. I didn't
Yeah.
even think about that. So Caitlin, thank you. She's added that this is good for gym powder drinks. See, here's the thing. I don't like to go to the gym, so I
Do you
wouldn't
think
know.
you can make cocktails in this? Because it does. I think.
But you
this
can't
thing
put ice.
Is the strainer? I know, but you don't necessarily allow me. Like if you needed like a.
Yeah, but don't you put ice in cocktail? I mean, not all
Well, you
cocktails.
could like pour it. You
Oh,
could, like,
and then
mix
just like
stuff,
to mix it.
Mix it together.
Oh my God, we should do that. Except that we're not allowed to do anything with alcohol on the show. So.
Okay.
But you know, you can pretend. You can pretend. Okay, so yeah, so these are some of our favorite kitchen items. This isn't really, like I said, I don't think of this as something that I use in my kitchen. I think of this more as on the go. I can give my kids a smoothie when we're out and about. I can take it with me and just pull it out and ta-da, done. Okay, Jed.
Yes.
So Caitlin said it's a great mixer. So you probably could use it for drinks, all kinds of drinks. Yes, right? Okay.
Yes.
So the other area, we're going to go back to my question. So you said that, so breakfast is an area that you really like to do with kids,
Yes.
with the girls. Another area that you have always been really great about, that I also, like, I've talked so much about reading and how much I love to read on this show and how I feel that it's really an important part of raising kids. And you always read to the girls.
Yes, I
And
did.
you had a couple of favorite books, and I thought it would be really fun for you to share. So in a couple weeks, we're doing a show all about books, and I have some authors that we're bringing on, and we're gonna talk about how to build out your kids' libraries and the right books for right ages, etc. But these were two books that Jed read to our girls growing up all the time. And one in particular, he's going to talk about and share some stories about it. So, which one you want to talk about first? Or what do you want to say? I'm just going to pass over to you while I have some finish off my latte from my Keep cup.
So it was always important to me to incorporate books when reading with the kids that had a message that I thought taught a life lesson. So there were two in particular that really resonated for me personally in terms of values that I felt were critical to the kids being ingrained in how they grew up. Mm-hmm. So one is the importance of giving back and not just taking. And so the Giving Tree has always been a favorite. We have the tree that just gives and gives and gives, and the little boy who grows into a man who just takes and takes and takes. Yes, and
isn't appreciative of the giving.
Right, and not until the very, very end, when he's old, does he realize that it's important to not always be taking and to give back, so that book basically has all but made me cry every time I've read it.
Still to this day?
Still to this day, I feel like I can't read that book with the kids without getting emotional about it, because I feel like I have tried to live my life in a way where I am constantly giving and giving and giving, and so I can really relate to the tree.
Oh no!
So,
what does that say about all of us? Do you feel that we're not appreciative of all that you've done for us? Or maybe you shouldn't ask that. Maybe you shouldn't answer that. You didn't answer.
No, I don't feel that way. I feel like there were times when I felt like I perhaps wasn't as appreciated as
Just as
maybe
I feel the
deserved to
same.
be. Which is probably why we're separated. So the Giving Tree is a favorite, and I assume everybody has this book in your library, but if you don't,
this is you have to have this. Your kids should be reading it, and it's a great book for adults too.
And I think it's one of those things that you actually need to read periodically. It's not a book that you can be like, oh yeah, I read that, and it sits on the shelf, and I know that book. I think every single time you read it, you get something out of it, and it reinforces and reinstills the importance of sort of giving back to community and your family and your friends, etc. So
Yeah, we love it.
So that's one. And then my other favorite book is called Yertle the Turtle.
By Dr. Seuss and other stories.
And perhaps one that's not as well known to everybody. And this is one of my absolute favorites. So without spoiling the story here, basically this is the story about a turtle, King Mac, who thinks that he deserves everything in life and is better than everybody, and sort of goes about trying to create a life for himself where he just
is the king of the world.
Is the ruler of the world, yes, and that he is not equal to everybody else. And Yertle, who is sort of a lowly turtle who on the other end of the spectrum doesn't understand why all turtles aren't equal. And so it's really about how, in the end, ultimately, everybody, all turtles and everybody should be equal, and has there's an incredible story. And actually,
I'm going to talk about the other story.
Well, no, I just was going to say that I think particularly, I think this book was way ahead of its time, because I actually don't know the exact year that it was written, but it's a story that I think has...
1958.
Yeah, so in 1958, Dr. Seuss was thinking about the fact that everybody deserves to be equal, and that resonates more than ever now. So yeah, if you haven't read Yertle the Turtle with your kids, this is another must.
And this book it's actually a compilation of multiple stories by Dr. Seuss, and there's another story in it, and I'm actually blanking on the name right now of what that one is called, but I love it because it's the story basically of the boy who cried wolf. And so it's the one with the hair, remember?
There's three stories.
I can't remember the name of it, but so there's Yertle the Turtle and then two other stories, and one of the other two, I'm blanking on the name of it specifically, but it's so great. And often when I work with families who have young kids, like between 3 and 10 years old, and they're saying, well, I'm trying to figure out how to teach my kid these lessons, this is one of the books that I refer them to, because there are multiple lessons within this one book, and they're so great for kids to understand. I love these lessons, and it's a fun book, and it's Dr. Seuss, and it's just great. The illustrations are great. It's wonderful all around. Okay. Anything else you want to share with us? Any other books or products or anything that you like right now, or would you like another question?
I think we can talk about other stuff.
Okay.
We don't need to.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you were building a business at the same time that we had young.
Wait, hold on. There is a question.
Oh.
So,
Yeah.
do you guys ever read to the kids together without help?
Oh, that's an interesting question. See, people want marriage. They're like on.
I'm aware. So we did not read to the kids together.
I mean, sometimes I would sit with them when they would read, but most.
Yeah, but right. And listen, you definitely like read with them also. So you are a big reader. And so this was definitely not like a one-sided. This was not like an all. There were things that having to do with the kids that were all me or more all you. I think reading, we both spent time with them doing that.
Well, you did a lot of like the bedtime reading, whereas I read a lot with them during the day and in the morning. Yeah. We did. Yeah. Reading has always been a large part of our upbringing with the kids. I'm a huge reader. I love to read, and so it's been important to me to do that with the girls, even though they're not really readers the way I am, but hopefully one day they will be. Okay, if you're just joining us, thank you so much for joining. I am Marissa.
I'm Jed.
We share the same last name, but we are separated. That's a fun story. And you are joining us on The Art of Parenting on Sway TV on Amazon Live. Thank you so much for being here. We're talking today about the dad's role in parenting. And I asked Jed to join me because despite the fact that we're no longer married, he's an awesome dad and has been since day one, while at the same time being an entrepreneur and building multiple businesses. You're smiling. Is there something that you want to say?
No, I just think it's lovely to be here.
Oh, thanks. I'm so glad you're here, Jed.
Yeah.
And so Jed has built a I just saw the comment. Jed has built a business while we were raising our 2 girls who are now 15 and 12. And you want to tell the viewers that are now joining us what the business is that you have built. And in the next segment, we're gonna actually really like drill down into the business and what it was like being an entrepreneur while raising young kids. But for the people that have just joined us at The Art of Parenting on Sway TV on Amazon Live,
yes.
fill them in.
So I set out to solve the problem for parents of what to do with all that artwork kids create. So
Archive,
parents,
woo!
so parents feel bad throwing away their kids' art. It ends up stuffed in boxes in the garage. Welcome to Archive. At Archive, we send you a box, you fill it with your kids' art, you send it back to us, we professionally photograph it all, edit it, the images, lay out a book for you. All you have to do is approve it, and you get one of these beautiful hardcover books. We have an absolutely incredible team of folks that work at Archive who put so much love and care into every single book that gets created. Incredibly proud of that team. And that family, honestly, that I built. So like while nurturing this family,
yes.
Building that family too has been super important. So
yeah, and one of the things that I will say, and I'll try. I mean, I'm obviously clearly biased, and I think the company is great and solves an awesome problem. But but I think one of the things that I love so much about Archive, in addition to taking all of the clutter and getting rid of it, the logical and rational reason for why Archive solves problems, there's like an even bigger story here. And that story is all about a child having an idea or thinking about something in their mind, or working through something, like there are kids that have stress in their life, for example, and they draw it out. Or there are kids that have an idea in their mind and they create it with paint or clay. And I love so much that a child can do that and can create a piece of art that they had in their mind and bring it to fruition. And then what I love about what you've done, in addition to the problem solving, right, is that you actually, when a child is presented with a book of their artwork that they have and can keep forever, this is something that they can hold on to as a keepsake, as an heirloom, and it's something that really they can feel proud of, which will build their self-confidence and their self-esteem.
We talk about Archive being a child's first publisher, and there's nothing that a kid likes more than to see that I think their parents have supported them and are supporting their creativity and have taken their work and turned it into something that is meaningful. So we hear from families all the time about their children who like constantly want to go through their books every single day, are flipping through their book and looking at their art. So the fact that we're able to help encourage children and and sort of spur on their creativity is
there's certainly a duality in the creation of this business, I think, like definitely solving a problem for parents, but for me as a mom and as a parenting expert, the bigger piece of this is really what it does for a child's self-esteem to have a parent present them with a book of their art that they can be proud of and have forever. And then, of course, let's face it, how nice is it to have this one book as opposed to bins in the garage of, hundreds of things of art.
Yeah. So we have a question.
We do, and I actually just love this question so much. So JDL, I don't know who you are, but thank you so much. You said, what about my role in Jed's successful business? Is there another side to this story? Oh, and Caitlin, we'll get to your question in a moment.
I'm
curious to hear what the answer is here.
So the answer is yes, of course. Marissa played a role. So we'll start with the fact that you sort of inspired the concept in the first place.
Yeah. Because I was a big scrapbooker. Not anymore. I just don't have the time anymore. But I used to be. Do you remember I would make we would go on like a weekend trip and I would make a scrapbook for it. Do you remember that?
I do remember.
We have a lot.
Yes, I do remember.
Yeah.
Yes. So no question. I think you haven't been super involved in the actual business side, I would say. Like that has not. Yeah. This has not been like
but I feel like
co-working thing.
no. But I feel like that's
However,
been very intentional on my part.
Yeah, but I will definitely say that, especially, I mean, have been times over the last 9 years, as with any startup, where it's super intense and the hours are absolutely insane.
That is very
and
true.
for a business like ours, like especially around the holidays, like we can just look at really even just
This
a month and a
past-
half ago,
yeah.
right, December, when it was insanely busy and
Yeah.
I was working 100 plus
Yeah,
hours a week.
15 to 17 hours a day at a minimum.
At least 7
Yeah.
days a week. And during those times, obviously, I'm not able to be as present with the kids. And so, which is particularly true, or is pretty important now that we're separated, because we do have a schedule, and I am supposed to be with them 50% of the time. But you definitely stepped up and took them at times when I just couldn't be present, because I have to make sure that the business continues to
I
operate.
appreciate that you're owning that.
So, and it's not just last month I feel like every year there are windows and
Yeah.
there are periods of time when that's
yeah,
the case.
Yeah.
So your role, I think, in
But I
in
also-
building the business has been in helping support me when I wasn't able to.
Yes, I would also say, and maybe you would not agree, however, I would also say that there are a number of times where you do talk to me about things in the business, and I give you my opinion, and I tell you when I think that there's something that you should be doing differently, and there have been times when I've said that there are things I don't like that you're doing. There have been ad campaigns where I've said I don't agree with that. I don't think that the mom is going to see it or agree with it. I certainly am not shy of sharing my opinion, much to Jed's chagrin sometimes. But, he doesn't always listen to my opinion, just like, I have a parenting company and he has given me advice, and sometimes I take it and sometimes I do not. So I think, we've had to kind of figure out how to deal with that as well over the last 17. We've been together. We met when we were very young. We've known each other for how many years now? 23? 23? No, more.
No,
I was 20.
23.
Yeah, 23 years.
Yeah.
Wow, it's a long time.
That's a long time.
Okay.
Let's not go down that rabbit hole.
But it would be so fun for them.
So
I'm the reason for the gray hairs. He's the reason for my gray hairs.
you are definitely the reason for my gray hairs.
Oh, really? It has nothing to do with building the business? Oh, please.
Okay, so here's the problem with when you give me advice, is that you get super offended when I don't take it.
Not anymore, I don't.
So
no,
one of the reasons why you have not been more involved.
Because I'm right.
One of the reasons I have not come to you with more stuff is because when I don't listen to you, you get mad.
Because often I'm right.
I could argue the other way around. So sometimes it's like I come to you to find out what you're going to say so that I know to not do that thing because I know you're not going to be right.
Oh my God, that's it, I'm done. I'm not sharing any more information with you. I'm withholding my gems. That's it. No more. Archive, you're on your own. Okay, do you want to answer Caitlin's
How's
question?
Christmas for the family?
Yeah. So we celebrate Christmas and Hanukkah.
Yeah.
We celebrate Hanukkah, and our girls celebrate Hanukkah, but we have family that celebrates Christmas, and so we celebrate.
Our kids are obsessed.
Our kids are obsessed with Christmas, but they are obsessed with the beauty and the sounds and the smells of the season.
Of the holidays.
Of the holidays. They love the music. They love the.
And the family time.
They love the family time. Yeah, and there are some traditions.
We all quarantine.
Yes. We have traditions around the holidays that the kids have come to love and appreciate and are really grateful for. And we felt that this year especially it was super important to give that to them. And so we did like a even more crazy quarantine so that we could be with a little bit of the extended family. And everyone quarantined before coming together, didn't see anybody, got tested. And then
I took the girls.
So the girls went with Jed to be with his family in the Bay Area, and I got a little bit of time off and me time, which was really nice. I did drive to be with them on Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, and the day after to just be with them for that like 48-hour window and to see family.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, especially in the year where we've all been so isolated, having the opportunity to be in a house together with my mom and my sister and brother-in-law and
the
niece and
kids
nephew,
to
all
see,
the kids,
yeah.
and have all
the
have
kids
4
together.
kids together.
Yeah.
I
think they appreciated it in a way that they've never appreciated it before.
Yeah, cooking and baking
Playing.
and like big dinners and fires. The fireplace was going around the clock.
Cards. Our daughters
Right.
learned how to play new card games.
Yeah,
They
doing
puzzles.
yeah.
I mean, it was.
Yeah.
And because everything was closed and you couldn't go out, like in previous years, if this was like normal Christmas holiday time, then they would be, we'd be going out. There'd be more, I mean, there's not a ton of stuff, but still, miniature golfing or going to see a movie. Because it was so hunker down, stay in the house all the time, it was such quality time. And even though I was only there for a short time, I really loved to see the kids together and how well they got along and how much fun they had together. And what's interesting is they're all different ages, the 4 of them. They range in age from 6 to 15. So that's a pretty wide gap. And you would think that the 15-year-old, because she is a legit true teenager, you would think that she would not be as into her younger cousins. No, she was like in it and had fun and loved it, and they were all playing every day. It was so awesome to see. They were not really on technology that much, except for when they were playing Roblox together. But
it was a really special time. So thanks for the question.
Yeah. Caitlin, this is such a good question. Do we disagree with each other while the children are present? So shall I take that? Okay. So
curious to hear what you think.
Yeah. So I'm a really strong proponent of mom and dad being able to do things differently in the home. It's actually really good for kids to see different styles of parenting and for children to then learn to be flexible. That being said, it's also incredibly important for the kids to see agreement on the big things in front of them. So we've always held that opinion, and we've always, through all of the years, that we've been really good about agreeing on the big stuff in front of them. And when we don't agree, what we will do is we will say, well, what, especially because kids like to play parents against each other. And so often they would come to one of us, not get the answer they like, go to the other parent. And we've always been really good about saying, well, what did mommy say? Or what did daddy say? And even if we disagree, we'll say, well, that's what we have to go by, because we've always supported each other in that way. And then in private, sometimes we'll have a conversation of, well, why did you say that? And sometimes there have been times when we've gone back to our kids and say, we talked about it and we're actually gonna reframe what we told you before. But in front of the kids, we really try, and we do. I think that's one of the things we've actually always been really good about, is being on the same page about the big things in front of them.
Yeah. Caitlin, so we're not, I would say we don't fight. We never fought a lot. We certainly
we don't bicker.
There was no yelling in front of the children.
And our kids were totally blindsided when we told them.
Even behind the scenes, even when the kids aren't around, that was,
it's not us.
Neither of us are
yellers.
Are screamers. So,
thank God.
So I would say that wasn't a factor in our separation, or a factor sort of as it relates to the kids then or now. I think we've tried to model a lot of patience and understanding, especially in front of the children.
Yeah.
But even separately, I mean, ultimately, obviously, we grew apart. But it wasn't that we hated each other or
no. Nothing egregious, we were lucky. Nothing egregious happened between us, and we chose to separate when the relationship was pretty healthy still. We just knew that we had reached a point where we had gone, we met when we were really young, and our differences in who we are as individuals has changed, and the kids are getting older, and we just felt like we needed to do this for those reasons. So a question came in from Carla about
about archives.
Yeah, a
Can
couple.
we send in artwork more?
And then,
more
there's a
artwork?
couple questions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I
yes.
love these. Great questions, by the way. You can ask all your archive questions.
If you order an archive box, the box is pretty big. It's 18
very
by
big. I should have
24
brought-
by 4, so it's like that big
No, it's bigger than that.
and like that
Next
high
time
or
you
so.
come on, you're going to bring a box.
I'm getting invited back.
We'll see, maybe. It depends how you answer the rest of my questions.
Okay.
But if you get to come back, you'll bring.
So so the box holds like easily. If you're talking flat art, 300 to 400 pieces of art. We have people who have stuffed in like 800 pieces.
And you can also wait. I have to just break in here and say you
Okay.
can also send in 3D pieces.
Yeah.
So like I don't know if you were probably going to say that.
It'll hold
but
less
yeah.
then, but yes, you can send anything you want. We literally can photograph absolutely anything.
Yeah.
People also use archive for other stuff, so other memorabilia. So we'll get clothes and cards and letters and awards and trophies.
Trophies, yeah.
And like you name it. If there's something you want, you send it in to us. But you can send stuff separated in stacks. So you can send in books for multiple children in one box. So if you've got multiple kids and you want to create multiple books, no problem. Buy one box, send it all in, and then you make a second payment based on how
many pieces of art are in there.
You're sending in.
Yeah,
Right.
but I will say the quality is fantastic. They have a studio full of professional photographers taking pictures in the studio. So everything is done just like we're in a studio with lighting, with proper lighting and the background. They do the same thing. So I love that question. That's hilarious. But first, it says, does Archive have plans to be on Amazon? It's a great product. And I think you need to talk about the Art of Me. And also your gift cards.
Okay, so we will certainly
Do you like how I'm
we
promoting?
will certainly look into bringing.
By the way, this is how I promote Archive. I remembered to tell them to promote 2 of their products. I'm just saying. See, you're happy to be here.
So we will definitely consider bringing Archive to Amazon. We have another product called Art of Me, which is a child's first autobiography. So we actually send you 22 pages or 21 pages, 22 pages of prompts, coloring pages, things to fill out for your child. Your child fills out, colors in, and puts about themselves. So they really sort of talks about their life. So what they like to eat, what they want to be when they grow up, their friends, their school life, everything about their life.
Yeah, it's great pandemic activity, amazing pandemic activity. Kids, you can start this at 3 and you can do it all the way up until they're like, what would you say, like 10, 11? Or is the sweet spot? The sweet spot is probably
it's probably
5 to 10.
Yeah, 5 to 10.
5 to 10. But you could, with a parental help, you could go a little bit earlier. And an older, we had our 15-year-old do it. We just, I made her because it was pandemic and we wanted to do.
So anyway, so you fill it out. We send you the stuff. You fill it out. You send it back. Those pages get professionally photographed and turned into a hardcover book. So now you have a hardcover book of all of your kids' life and their autobiography. So that's the Art of Me. I think I will definitely talk to the team back at the office about
Getting
bringing
it
Art
on
of Me
Amazon.
to Amazon. So I think that's a super
Excuse
interesting
me,
idea.
I said that you should do that a couple months
So
ago.
I had this idea
Am
of
I gonna
bringing
get
Art of
credit?
Me to Amazon,
I
and it's been in my head for a while.
No, that was me.
So
All me.
I will talk to the team and see if we can make that happen. And then if
Archive
it
team.
becomes,
I said that
if it becomes
months
super
ago.
successful, I will take all the credit for having this fantastic idea. So if anyone actually from the Archive team is listening, let's think about whether or not that's a viable option to bring this.
Bring
and sell
Art
this
of
to
Me.
Amazon.
Yeah, I think that would be smart.
Look, thanks.
Someone found it and put
posted
it.
That's awesome. Yeah. So Art
And
of
look,
Me
someone
is great.
else said about your. Oh yeah, you can talk about your mosaics.
I should bring a mosaic on to show.
I don't know if I'm inviting you back. Although, look, someone said bring Jed back. You two are great.
I can't. What is it? I can't see
I
what
know,
it says
I
though.
can't see, I
As
know.
something.
Great. I think it's probably. I bet it says co-hosts. Yeah, that means you're going to have to give up more time from Archive to come here because I do this 4 to 6 hours a week now.
Maybe I should have my own show.
No, I don't think so, Jed. Don't steal my thunder.
So wait, there was another question too. By the way, we're gonna have to get back to Caitlin.
Yeah. You want to answer that question? Oh God, that is such open. Caitlin, you're totally opening a can of worms here.
So our kids could actually probably be watching or find this. So I feel like maybe we should.
We might even have friends. How funny would it be if we've got friends watching and they're like, so. I think our friends are very confused about us.
So anyway,
he's not even answering.
So let's talk about the mosaics because we do make these absolutely stunning.
And I want to thank Carla because she's giving me credit for. So thank you, Carla.
Oh.
Yeah.
Carla, you believe that this is Marissa's idea? So the mosaics, it is a custom framed print.
Gorgeous.
We take 25 pieces of your kids' artwork. We put it in sort of tiles. And then print
beautiful.
it out, and it's in this like nice wood frame. It's a beautiful piece of wall art, and we'll
have to show. We'll have to bring it on next time.
But if you go to the archive website, so go to archivebox.com, and you can take a look at the site, and there's the different products and the mosaics, and
you can buy a gift card. And I will say, we're going to do a Valentine's show, but I'm going to tease it now because...
Wait, am I coming on the Valentine's Day show? That's so awkward.
No. I'm not bringing you on that one. I said we, meaning me.
Okay.
Yeah. But for Valentine's, I'm going to talk about gifts that you can give to your children that are really cool. And one of the things that you can do...
somebody found
look
mosaic
at that.
frames.
Someone found it.
This.
Awesome. So one of the things that you can do is you can gift your child. You can get the box with the art of me, and you can give that to them. Or you can print out a picture from the website, from the archive website of what the mosaic looks like and purchase a gift card and put that in for the child and let them know that they get to pick out 20 or 25? 25 of their favorite pieces of art to put into a mosaic that archive will turn into this incredibly gorgeous piece of art for them that will then be hung in their room or even somewhere in the house. So those are two really awesome ideas for Valentine's Day gifts for your kids. And by the way, not only is there, the end product is really cool, but there's a project in getting it together. So I like that too.
Yeah. So if you're just joining us, we're on Sway TV on Amazon Live.
It's The Art of Parenting with Marissa Gold
and special guest Marissa's ex, Jed Gold. Follow Sway on Amazon. Take a screenshot to follow. Go to swaytvfollow.com.
SwayTVlive.com. And you can shop the carousel. I mean, we're having fun. We're just bantering about so many things. But there's lots of great product that we love, and you can shop the carousel and find stuff out. But wait.
I think we need to find like some sort of like relationship book on Amazon so that we can like tie this whole thing together and have
I know, but I have to approve it. So I need to, because the other thing is like how many people, I mean, come on, we're kind of fortunate. There are not that many people that could sit on a couch with their ex for 2+ hours and like have fun. Fun?
Right. Fun.
Okay. I'm going to try not to take offense to that.
We're having fun. We are.
Did you want to ask? Did you want to answer Caitlin's question?
Are we interested in other people and seeing other people? I think, Caitlin, are you asking me out? So here's what I would say to that. Yes.
Look, she also said the family matters, nothing else, which I think is a super.
So, yes, obviously, I think Marissa and I both want the best for each other, and we want each other to be happy, and ultimately, whatever that looks like. So, it has definitely been challenging in COVID times because we have decided to sort of deprioritize that in order to keep ourselves and the kids healthy.
And happy.
So neither of us have really been actively dating, I don't think.
I was going to say the same thing.
Awkward.
I don't think.
But yeah, so yes, but when it's safe and.
Yeah, at some point. We're just, right now the focus is on the kids.
So,
and we made a very conscious decision about that. We talked about it extensively.
The kids are most important for sure. And so,
and
work is honestly,
for both of us.
Marissa's growing her business, and things are growing quickly for her and going very well, and she's an unbelievable
Thanks.
parenting resource. So she's hugely valuable, and I think has an amazing opportunity to grow. So she's really been focused on that, and Archive has been growing quickly as well. And so between being very busy and
we're
being with
focusing
children,
our energies.
Those are the
Yeah.
priorities.
Yeah.
So
there's a question that just was asked. I can't see who asked it, the way that it came up, but it says, speaking of books, I was just about to ask you if the two of you have a book that's helped with the separation and make it so good. So the short answer is no, there isn't a book that we've found or that I've even looked for, to be perfectly honest.
I'm just like insanely patient as a human, and so it's very easy when you have somebody who is so chill
and a good therapist. No, I think it really, really goes back to, we made a very conscious and intentional decision at the outset that we were going to put the kids first, and whatever that looked like. And that was pre-pandemic. I mean, that was 6 months pre-pandemic, and back then, yes, we knew we were actually going to date, but even then, the goal was we were going to do whatever we could to make sure their lives remained as healthy and as quote unquote normal as possible. And then obviously the pandemic, we had to totally pivot, because Jed was living separately, the girls were going back and forth, but we had to totally pivot, and we did that based then again on the girls' needs and what they were telling us they needed. And at the time when the pandemic happened and we all had to go back into massive lockdown back in March, the girls were telling us that they really needed us to be together, the four of us. And so we talked and we figured it out and we've made it work. And now, now we've gone back. What? What?
I just saw the comment that says he's not wrong, which I'm not sure
what that refers
to, but I just appreciate that whatever I'm saying is not wrong. So, sorry to interrupt. Keep going. Dying.
So anyways, I think, Gwyneth Paltrow and Chris Martin made this trending idea of conscious uncoupling. And I actually feel like we took it to this whole other level, because I think that they, really made their kids come first, but I have no idea what the two of them, how they were. We will never know. But I will say for us, it has been all about the kids and making sure that their needs are being met. Lexi said about you being patient. About me being patient? I'm still confused.
I think Lexi is sensing how patient of a person I am, and saying that I am not wrong about the fact that I am incredibly patient.
Yes, Jed is very patient and very even-keeled.
It's also
almost to a fault.
That Lexi knows me, and
and it's quite possible that our children are in the chat. And if you can figure out who they are, more power to you. And I will say to our children who are in the chat, go back to school.
Yes, seriously.
You're supposed to be on Zoom school right now. You're not supposed to be watching us, but we love you. Okay, so if you're just joining us, let's just, as they say on Clubhouse, let's reset the room. If you're just joining us, I am Marissa Gold. This is The Art of Parenting on Sway TV on Amazon Live. Thank you so much for being here. I am joined today by my lovely co-host, Jed, who shares the same last name as me. However, we are separated. And I just can't. I can't with them. Sorry, our girls are in the chat. Just give me. Jesus. Okay. This is too much. This is so bad. Okay. Okay, they're on break. Fine. Otherwise, I'm gonna report you both to school. That's what I'm gonna do. Okay.
Yeah, so you were introducing us. So we were married for 17 years and are now separated, but obviously get along well enough to be here with you lovely fine folks talking about things we love and parenting and yeah, although I am going to leave you soon because...
Okay.
Because.
Okay, well, before you leave me, okay, well, not yet. I have a few more questions.
I have a little more time.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm curious if you could change one thing about the way you parented, and this is going to be super fun because I think our kids are watching, but if you could change one thing about how you have been a dad, what would that be?
Wow. Like, usually when people go on a show and there's going to be like interview questions, they give the person the questions in advance so they can think about what they're going to say.
No, I'm aware. I not give them to you before.
So
you can thank me later for that.
So, okay, can you repeat the question, please?
So if there was one thing that you could change about the way you have been a dad, or it can be more than one thing, but if there's something that you would do differently, looking back, I mean, look, our kids are now 15 and 12. They are not, obviously, we're not done being their parents. We're never done. But the years of really hardcore, in it all the time, they're super dependent, always needing us. What is we're past that point. So looking back on that window, is there something that if you could do it differently, what would you have done differently? And maybe your answer is nothing and I will laugh, but
So here's what I'd say. I don't have a ton of regrets because I feel like I made being around a priority. And being a super hands-on dad, because I didn't want to ever look back and be sitting here saying, I wish I had spent more time with my kids and I wish that I had been around more because I was never home and never saw them. And so I would say that's fortunately, because of decisions I made, something that I don't regret. We definitely live in a culture where we are on our phones a lot, and I particularly, at running a business with emails coming in around the clock, and especially a business that is consumer facing, where we have customers emailing us literally 24 hours a day. I feel like I am always on, and so I check my phone a ton, and I check what's happening on our social feeds, and so as a result, I think I probably spend more time on my phone than I would like. And so if I could like look back and say like change one thing, it probably would have maybe disconnected a little bit from technology a little more than I did. What about you?
I will answer that question in one moment, but in that vein, I want to share something that we have implemented in our home that has really helped. I would agree. I would like you to be even more disconnected sometimes, but this has been something that has really helped, is having this charging station and having it out of the bedrooms and in a communal space in our house. It's in the kitchen. Love this one. Okay, so that's something that I want to share because this charging station is so great, and I highly recommend if you don't have a charging station in your home somewhere, and if your kids and or your spouse, if you're charging in your rooms, it's really hard to get away from technology. There's so much research around that, and so I would say have a central charging station, get the batteries and the chargers out of the bedrooms. To answer your question, Thank you for turning it around on me.
Yeah, well, somebody else turned around you also, just to be clear. So I'm not the only one that wants to know.
Yeah. So if I had to do something different as a parent, I think, honestly, looking back, it would be getting down on the floor and playing more in the moment when our girls were really young. So I love being a mom. I love holding them, cuddling, talking. I was never great at, and it was challenging for me to like get on the floor and just play for hours. And now that they're older and that they don't want to do that at all anymore, I think back and wish that I had done more like just of the imaginary play when they were really little. I don't know if it would have changed anything about them developmentally. I think our girls turned out pretty great. I know I'm totally biased, but I do. I think that they turned out pretty great. But you know, they're older now, and there are times where now I wish they would just come and like sit and talk to me for hours, like while we're playing something, and that's time that's lost. And so I think that's like a very, you know, something that I wish I had done differently. So, and I also wish, as it pertains to us, I wish that I understood from an earlier point in our marriage the trials and tribulations and challenges of truly building a business. I don't think I understood that for many years. And I also don't think you understood how to do that and be there as a partner. So I think we both had to learn how to do that. And I understand we both had to learn how to do that. But I think had we both known those things earlier on, we would have had a more successful chance. So, okay. I want to ask you, what?
Bree wants to know what's some advice for me when she's a parent, and Lexi's telling her to chill, which I could not agree more with. Bree, chill. So,
okay. Has anything in your life, actually, I'm gonna ask a different question because I know you have to leave soon.
Okay.
And so one of the things that I talk a lot about on this show is, as parents, taking care of ourselves, self-care, things that we can do for ourselves, so that we have the energy to get through our days.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that you actually really struggled with for a very long time. And you even commented earlier in the show that you felt like you were burning it at both ends.
Yeah.
And you have had to learn to, and I think that that's actually also part of what happened with us, is that you were so involved in the business and being a parent was so important to you that those two things took precedence, which I get, but everything else kind of suffered. So, you know, you certainly weren't even seeing your friends. Jed is a very social person. He wasn't even seeing his friends as much or going on like guy trips that he used to do. I certainly wasn't getting the time that I wanted or felt I needed or deserved. But I think that, and so I think that that was a real struggle. So I'm curious, A, if you agree, B, what you have found, like what you do now for self-care, if you do anything at all, if that's important to you. So let's talk a little bit about self-care as a business owner, a dad, and a partner.
Okay. So,
anything at all you want to share?
okay, so I have a couple of things. So one, I think it's super important to take time for yourself. So I was never good at, I feel like I never had time for myself. So on a just purely like, it's important to prioritize giving yourself alone time to decompress and doing things that, even if it's like going for a walk or
and most
doing
parents
yoga
don't.
or like listening to music or playing a game or whatever it is, like you just need time to chill. So I think that's never been a strength of mine. Although last year, pre-pandemic, when I got into hot yoga, I feel like that was probably like the healthiest I'd ever been, and like the best I ever felt when I was doing hot yoga like 4 or 5 times a week.
And then COVID.
And then COVID, yeah, super unfortunate. And now the thought of being in the hot yoga room is like the most gross, horrifying thing ever.
All the hot yoga people love hearing that.
So I listen, I hope that it gets to the point where it's safe again, but yeah,
not anytime soon.
I will not be the first person back in the hot yoga room. So finding something is important, but then also because I was like spending what 12 plus 15 hours a day, sometimes at a computer. For me, I was like super tense and like always in like my neck and my shoulders and everything. I was always in pain. So I did find this product. And I know that this is where you're leading me to. You're like leading a horse to water because I wouldn't get there otherwise. So
I'm just trying to help you out, as I so often do.
So this.
Hold on, I'm going to share this quick video before you actually demo it.
Okay.
Look, see, she's even demoing that she's in pain in her neck. Okay, I'm cutting it off. Go ahead and talk about
How
it.
come you're cutting it off?
Oh, sorry.
Oh, it's okay. Oh yeah.
You're just gonna like go, yeah. You still have to talk.
Okay. People don't want to watch me get a massage. So this thing, you like strap it on, put it on it. You can do like any part of your back. You put your arms through it, so you can like pull and give yourself a little pressure. And this is super.
We fight over this. We actually now have two.
Super effective massager that actually I think is probably like one of the best ones I've ever used, because I feel like we've tried different ones and tried the kind where you like hold it over your back or like the stick or whatever, and they never seem to work as well.
The rolly one.
But yeah, this thing, if you're not gonna like have like a full-on massage chair, this I think is the closest thing to it, and I feel like it's not that expensive, right?
It's 50. Well, so right now it is $59, $58.99.
Yeah, that's pretty reasonable, and it's got it heats up too, so it has a heat feature. So if you want like warm massage, that's an option too.
It is also an Amazon choice item.
So I remember when I'd be like in so much pain, and when we were married, and I would like need a massage, and I would like ask you for a massage, and you would massage me.
I know where this is going.
You'd massage me for like 12 seconds, and you'd be like, okay,
no,
I'm done.
like a few minutes.
No.
Like 2 minutes.
No. 2 minutes would have felt like an hour. You were like 10 to 15 seconds, and you'd be like, okay, I'm done.
Oh,
so
you were very tense. It hurt my fingers.
Please.
Okay, what else do you do for relaxation?
I don't know. Can you tell me what else I do for relaxation, Marissa?
Okay, well, I'm a really big believer in having things that elevate our different senses, and so I like the different diffusers with different scents that you can put around the house. So either that or candles. Candles are not so masculine. I recognize that, and so I really like these Vitruvi stone diffusers. And what I love, they come in 4 different colors. I really like the terracotta, and I also really like the black one. And the smells, the oils that these come with, Okay, so that is the stone diffuser.
So that thing is super cool. We got a few of those in the office to create some nice ambiance. So that's a good one for sure.
What about music? You listen to music?
Listen to music. I mean, yeah.
I feel like you're always listening to music or Clubhouse.
Yes.
Jed is addicted.
I am on Clubhouse a lot. If you are not familiar with Clubhouse, it is an app, iOS only currently, worth checking out.
iOS.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's basically like live podcasting where you can go in and participate in all sorts of interesting folks on there. So Marissa, this has been super fun. I'm gonna have to go soon. Do you have any like parting questions before we leave?
I don't think so. I think that I might have you come back. I don't know. We'll see. Do you have any parting advice you would like to give to dads about being involved? And can I do an archive giveaway after you leave? I know you have to leave, but can I do a giveaway? Or should we save that for when you come back next time?
I think we should save that for the next time I'm back. So
Okay.
definitely follow Sway TV so that you get the alerts when
SwayTVfollow.com. That's SwayTVfollow.com.
So it's Marissa's show. I'm just an unspecial guest for the day, and maybe we'll be back.
There was a quick question before you do your parting wisdom, which I know you have so much of. How warm does the shiatsu massager get?
Comfortably warm. Yeah.
Yeah, not too hot. It's not too hot, but it's warm enough so that you really feel like you're getting like a warm massage. Yeah. Okay, so parting advice.
So I'm Jed. Started the company Archive. If you're not familiar with Archive, we turn all your kids' artwork into these beautiful books. Super easy. Archivebox.com. Check it out. My partner in crime here, Marissa, her show. Thank you for having me on.
Thank you for joining. This has been really fun. Okay, wait, before you go though, last piece of advice for dads. Like, what would you say if you were giving a new dad, if a new dad was coming to you and saying, how can I be the best dad possible? What would you recommend?
Yeah.
What would you say to them?
I would say lean in. So I think, that concept I know started with like as sort of a woman's thing and moms, leaning into their family and their work and their career and et cetera. But I think it holds equally true for dads. So time passes quickly. I have, it's hard to believe that like ours are 15 and 12 now.
It's crazy.
So yeah, you never want to be in a position where you look back and regret time that you wish you'd have spent with your kids. So I would say be as present as you possibly can that your life and career will allow for, and try to not ever have that as a regret, because it's something that cannot ever be fixed. So hi Christina.
Hello, thanks for joining.
Thanks for joining. So that's my 2 cents.
Awesome. Well, Jed, thanks so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
This was fun. All jokes aside, this was really fun, and I hope that you will come back. I think it would be fun. I enjoyed having you here, and we could like put together a whole series of things that we could do together. But so you can mull that over and think about that.
How to be a good separated couple 101.
Wait, let's see. Caitlin just said, kids do everything your parents ask, dads keep being a strong provider, mom rub his back better than anyone else. Well, I think it depends on the mom. I think Jed would probably not agree that I'm the best back rubber, but our daughter, we have a daughter who loves giving back rubs, and she has very strong hands, and although she's gotten so busy, which is why we have the shiatsu massager, so that now we can give ourselves a massage on demand for however long we want.
Yeah.
So thank you.
And wait, I know I just want to say before I go, because the products there's like a carousel on here, right?
Yes.
Okay. So like if you get nothing else, I'm telling you,
Yertle the turtle.
Yertle the turtle.
And the Vitamix.
And the Vitamix and the griddle. Like
honestly.
honestly.
Oh, you were going to say the griddle. I put those other two in there.
I was going to say the griddle.
The griddle,
yes.
yeah.
Yes. Yertle the turtle, Vitamix, griddle.
Yeah, I would actually say griddle, and Yertle the turtle.
Griddle, Yertle the turtle, Vitamix.
And
because Vitamix is expensive. I mean, it's not, it's fantastic, but yeah.
It's one of the pricier items in the carousel for sure, but worth it. And I talk a lot about how yes, some of the items are pricier, but we will never promote something or talk about something unless we really love it. So if it's expensive, you can know that you're spending money on a quality piece, on a quality item that is going to go the distance with you. So yeah.
Thanks for having me.
So thank you so much for being here. We're going to take a really, really short pause while Jed leaves, and then I will be right back, and we are going to just talk about a few more things before we end today's show. So we'll see you in a couple minutes.
Everybody.
And come back. Now it's just me. Hopefully it'll still be fun. I hope you'll still follow along. I hope you don't go anywhere, Caitlin. So I wanted to just again thank you, Jed, for being with me here on The Art of Parenting at Sway TV on Amazon Live. That was so fun doing that segment all about dads. Next week when I come back, I'm gonna have another dad who's gonna join me via Zoom, who is a book author, and he actually wrote a book all about the transition from becoming a dude to a dad. And I'm super excited to have him on. That's a little tease. But he'll be joining me next week. And so you'll have to tune in for that, because he's going to talk about what it was like to make the transition in the early years, what it was like to write a book, what it's like to be an author who is selling a book, and his children. He has 3 kids, and he wrote the book obviously when they were younger. He also created a whole line of product in the baby gear industry, which we're going to talk about. So I'm teasing this a little bit. You're going to have to stay tuned. I'm super excited to have him on the show. It's going to be really fun. We're going to talk about kids in the earlier years and really kind of drill into the early years of parenting with the dad. And today with Jed, it was a little bit more general, but we're going to drill down, way down into the early years. So, and I've got lots of really fun guests that are coming on my show. I'm so excited. I'm building shows right now around so many great parenting topics. I hope that you will continue to, I hope you'll follow me. I hope you will come back and spend your mornings or your afternoons with me, where we talk parenting, and I also get to share some of my favorite products with you. So along those lines of sharing some of my favorite products, I want to, before we head out today, we're going into the weekend, yet another weekend, the last weekend of January. Can you believe that? I can't believe January is already over. I have to say, so far, good start to the year. Very happy with where we're at. We've got immunizations, we're moving forward, we're seeing a change in mental health. Schools are starting to go back in hybrid capacity. There are so many great things that are happening. We have a change in the White House, so many fabulous, what a fabulous direction for our country. And so I'm very excited about it. And as we go into this weekend, and as we think about the beginning of February, I want you to make some parenting goals. And so I want you to make one for yourself, and I want you to make one for you as a parent, but with your kids. So we, in our house, we talked about this, and my girls and I sat down and we decided that one of our goals for February was to do 20 hours of exercise outside. Now I can't remember if we said 10 or 20, and that's a huge difference. No, we said 20 hours of exercise outside. And that means we either said we were going to bike ride, walk, or hike, and we are going to make sure we are outside for 20 hours in the month of February. And so I will tell you, we'll be tracking it together, and I will share with you what we did, and you can follow me along on Instagram at Intuit Parenting, and you can see what we're doing. And I will talk about it here on The Art of Parenting on Sway TV, on Amazon Live. But so that is one thing. So think about, at the end of January, often what happens is people who have made New Year's resolutions, by the 3rd, 4th week of January, they have kind of already lost them. And if they're not really consciously paying attention and being intentional about doing them every day, we lose our New Year's resolutions by about this time. So what I'm saying is check in with yourself and decide, going into the month of February, don't even think about it as a New Year's resolution. Think about it as, what do you want to do for yourself for self-care, and what are you going to do as a family with your children? So in my home, we talked about doing the outside time with my kids in the month of February, and we're super excited about it. We've already made a list of things we can do, and we're going to plot it, and it'll be really fun. And then for self-care, I have decided that I've talked on this show a lot about how I love to journal and I love to read, but I don't And I've talked about how I try to do it every morning and I try to put it into my routine, and I keep using this word try, and that is I want to call your attention to that, because for the month of February, I've decided I'm not going to try. I'm going to make it a part of my routine that every morning I'm going to journal for at least 5 minutes, and every day, this is going to be easy, but every day I'm going to read for at least 45 minutes. Now, it doesn't have to be all in one bucket. And just like the exercise time outside, if I say to my kids, we have to get an hour today to meet our requirement, it doesn't have to be an hour in one time. It can be, let's go for a 20-minute bike ride, and in the afternoon, let's go for a 20-minute walk, or in the morning, let's go for a 10-minute walk the dogs around the block, and in the afternoon, let's go for a 40-minute hike. It's okay to do that. It's actually really good to break it up because it gets you outside at different times of the day. But for myself, for my personal self-care, I have decided that I'm going to be very conscious and very intentional about making sure that I have structured self-care in my routine every single day. So in the morning, I'm going to wake up and I'm going to journal. And as you know, if you have followed me, you know that right now, my favorite journal is this journal by, it's the companion journal to Michelle Obama's book, Becoming. It's a guided journal, so it has prompts, which I'm really not used to. I'm used to being able to just do brain dump in my journals. That's the way I've always journaled my whole life. This is the first time I've ever done it like this, and I'm really liking it because it's making me think about very specific things. And so this is what I'm going to be writing in for at least the next month. I'll keep you posted on how it goes. Maybe I will even share some of those journal prompts with you for you to think about. Next time I'm on this show, I'm going to actually bring my journal so that I can show you. And I'm going to try, while I am also journaling, I'm going to try to get my children, my girls, to journal as well, although I don't know that they're going to, but I am going to try. And then the other thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to read, and if you have been following me, if you know my show, you know one of my favorite things ever is my Kindle. It is my lifesaver, it is my escape, it is my security blanket. It happens to be a bestseller on Amazon. So love, love, love my Kindle.
Meet the all-new Kindle Paperwhite, our thinnest, lightest yet. Now waterproof, with Audible, plus a sleek, modern design and twice the storage. Kindle Paperwhite is purpose-built for daily escapes, so you can read and relax in more places.
Snowy mountains and streams, though not one was in sight. The landscape is only wavering foothills, roughened here and there with trees.
So that's the Kindle. And one of the really cool features is that it has Audible on it now. And I love that because I have also recently wired my entire home with smart devices. So in my kitchen, I now have an Echo that plugs into my Ring. It's so fun. I love it. My home is all now smart wired and whatever it's called, smarted out. My home is probably more intelligent at this point than me, but that's okay because it's like I have a built-in assistant, which is so cool. So anyways, when I'm in my kitchen prepping food or feeding my dogs or cleaning, washing the dishes, I can plug my Kindle via Audible onto my Echo and I can listen to it. So I can listen to my book when I'm doing my housework. That's amazing. That is so cool. So hi, John. I just want to say hi. Thank you so much for the follow. So good to have you here. Glad you're here. So this is one of the things that I'm going to be doing. So I want you to think about, and we're going to talk more about this, what are you going to be intentional and conscious about for the month of February? For self-care for yourself, and for your children? What are goals that you can have with your children? And I want you to have very concrete goals. So like I said, my girls and I, our goal is 20 hours of outside time. And my goal for the month of February for myself is self-care every single morning, structured and built into my routine so that I ensure that it happens. Because I know myself, I know that if I don't actually schedule it into my routine and know that I have to give it to myself, then something else will come up and I just won't do it. So I even sat down with my girls and I said, I want you to know that when I wake up in the morning, I'm going to do 5 to 10 minutes of journaling. And when you see that I'm doing that, that's for myself and you need to give me that time. I got their buy-in, they get it, they know it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. Okay, so I want you to think about, as we go into this weekend, I want you to think about what are the things that you are going to incorporate that are going to be new or you're going to reinforce into your schedule for yourself and for your children. Think about that, and next time we come together, if you want to participate in the chat and share with me, I would love to hear, and I will see you in a couple of days. Have an incredible, incredible weekend. Enjoy it. I hope you're able to get outside. The weather here is very rainy, so I don't know if I'll be outside in the next day or two, but we will see. But I want you to have a wonderful weekend. Enjoy this last weekend in January, and I will so look forward to seeing you next week when I come back. I'll be back either Monday or Tuesday morning, but follow us. You can follow me at Intuit Parenting on social. Thank you so much. Goodbye, Caitlin. Thank you for hanging out with me. Next time, if anyone wants to comment, we had some other people commenting and saying hello. Thank you so much for being here with us today. It was so fun having you with me on The Art of Parenting at Sway TV on Amazon Live. Thank you so much. Mwah. Let's sway. Bye.
Make sure you guys follow Sway TV. Follow Sway right here. Ooh, it's this way, sorry. Corey says, thank you, Sway TV. Shakira says, thank you, Sway. Yes, guys, it is so much fun. We love Sway TV.
So grateful for you guys and for Sway TV.
We'll see you soon. Until then, let's sway.
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 Let's sway. Let's sway.